Hare Krishna. You are all welcome to this evening Bhagavad-Gita class. We are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Chapter, I was told is chapter 13. Is it? Chapter 13, text number 18, entitled Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. So we are reading from text number 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Maskrityam Narayana Devi Sarvasya Vyasam Viṣṭhitam Yaudirates Nasta Paraso Badresu Nityam Bhavata Sevayam Bhavata Thomas Loke Bhakti Bhakti Nastiki. So the Bhagavad Gita is the same as Bhagavatam. So this prayer we are saying, we are asking for the translation is, before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, one should first offer his respectful obeisances to the Supreme Person of God, Sri Narayan, and to this Sri Narayan receive the supremest human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By daily attendance to this Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So by okay, I see the mic. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Pavitra. Hare Krishna, sir. So by every day hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by hearing the Bhagavad Gita every day, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. That's why even today, you see people die mostly not because of the epidemic. People die because of fear. People are afraid. Will I get coronavirus? Will I die? If I die, about my children, my family? So people are afraid. Why are they afraid? Because they don't have knowledge of Krishna. So when we hear the Bhagavatam every day in Bhagavad Gita, it gives us hope that even if we die, we don't lose. Even if you die now, you don't lose. Because you have been hearing about Krishna, and you go back to Krishna and you continue what you have been hearing. All we are hearing about the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, these are things that are going on in the spiritual world. So by hearing them every day, it is staying in your heart, it stays in your consciousness. So when you go back home, you just continue. But people who don't hear Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, they are afraid. What did they hear? They always hear that in Maharashtra, 50 lakhs of people are dying with virus. So they become afraid. They hear in this place people are dying. They become so much afraid. But by hearing Bhagavad Gita, we become free. So let's read chapter 18, chapter 13, text number 18. Let's read the Sanskrit. Jyotiṣām api tad jyoti tamasaḥ param ucyate jñāna-gamyaṁ jñānam yoyam hṛdi sarvasya viṣṭhitam. Word-to-word translation. Jyotiṣām, in all luminous objects. Api, also. Tat, that. Jyoti, the source of light. Tamasaḥ, the darkness. Param, beyond. Ucyate is said. Jñānam, knowledge. Jñeyam, to be known. jñāna-gamyam, to be approached by knowledge. Hṛdi, in the heart. Sarvasya, of everyone. Viṣṭhitam, situated. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada K. Translation. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge and is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So repeat after me. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and it's unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Purport. The super soul, the supreme person of Godhead, is the source of light in all luminous objects, like the sun, moon, stars. In the Vedic literature, we find that in the spiritual kingdom, there is no need of sun or moon because the effulgence of the Supreme Lord is there. In the material world, the Brahmajyoti, the light, the Lord's spiritual effulgence is covered by the Mahatattva, the material element. Therefore, in this material world, we require the assistance of sun, moon, electricity, etc. for light. But in the spiritual world, there is no need of such things. It is clearly stated in the Vedic literature that because of its luminous effulgence, everything is illuminated. It is clear, therefore, that his situation is not to be in the material world. He is situated in the spiritual world, which is far, far away in the spiritual sky. That is also confirmed in the Vedic literature. Adiya Varnam Tamasaḥ Parakstit Svatasvara Upanishad 3.8. He is just like the sun, eternally luminous, but he is far, far beyond the darkness of the material world. His knowledge is transcendental. The Vedic literature confirms that Brahma is concentrated transcendental knowledge. To one who is anxious to be transferred to the spiritual world, knowledge is given by the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. One Vedic mantra, Sarvasya Upanishad 6.8 says, Tam devam atma buddhi prakasam mumukshu vai saranam aham prapadye. One must surrender unto the Supreme Person of Godhead if is all wants liberation. As far as the goal of ultimate knowledge is concerned, it is also confirmed in Vedic literature. Tam evam vivid viti mritum ite. Only by knowing him can one surpass the boundary of birth and death. He is situated in everyone's heart as the supreme controller. The supreme has legs and hands distributed everywhere, and he cannot be said to of the individual soul. Therefore, that there are two knowers of the field of activity, the individual soul and the super soul, must be admitted. One's hands and legs are distributed locally, but Krishna's hands and legs are distributed everywhere. This is confirmed in the Svatasvara Upanishad 3.17. Sarvasya sarvasya prabhu isanam sarvasya sarana brihat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Super Soul, is the Prabhu or Master of all living entities. Therefore, he is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. So there is no denying the fact that the Supreme Super Soul and the individual soul are always different. Om Magyana Trimendasya Gyana Salakaya Takshur O Miltam Yena Tasmae Si Gurave Namaha Sri Titaya Manobistam Stabitam Yena Bhutale Swaya Rupa Kadamaya Dadanti Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusute Tapcha Kantana Gorange Radhe Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Karpataru Bista Kripa Sindhu Bhyai Vacha Patisa Pavanabhyo Vaisnavibhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pratatarine Nirvesesa Sunavani Pratatarine Jai Sri Krishna Tentaya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasare Gudabhakta Benda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jyotiṣām apita jyotis tamasaḥ param ucyate jñānam jñeyaṁ indri savas viṣṭhitam. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge and is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Hare Krishna. We are all welcome to this Bhagavatam class. We are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 13, text number 18, entitled Nature, entitled Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. You know, Krishna have three qualities, and all the living entities, we all have those qualities. That we have Sakshit Ananda Vigraha. Sakshit Ananda. That means Krishna is eternal. We the living entities, are also eternal. Krishna is knowledgeable. Krishna has knowledge. We also have knowledge. And Krishna is Sakshit Ananda Vigraha. Sakshit Ananda. Eternity, knowledge, and blissful. We also have bliss. That's why we want to enjoy. Everybody wants to enjoy. But we cannot enjoy beside Krishna. Like every day I see parents come to the temple. They come with their children. So when they bring their children, when they put them down, the children want to go out and play. But the children have to hold them and control them. So we are like that. We have the soul, which is called the individual soul. But Krishna comes with us as the super soul to monitor our activities. Like Prabhupada always give example. 2 trees, 2 birds sitting in one tree. The one bird, he want to enjoy, but the other bird is watching what the other bird is doing, if he's doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So the super soul is there to say, hey, don't do this, it's not good. Do this, it's good. So the super soul always directs us to serve Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. That's why in the Bhagavad-Gita, the first question Dhritarashtra asked Sanyaya, he said, Dhritarashtra, I have 100 children, and Bhishmadev, Karna, Aswatthama, Dronacharya, they are in my sight, and the Pandavas, they are only 5. So when these 2 people are in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when they want to fight, what is the result? So Bhishmadev, Dhritarashtra was having the hope that he will conquer the Pandavas, because the Pandavas are few. They are only 5. Can you name one of the Pandavas? Huh? Yes, name one. Yudhishthira. Another one? Arjun. Another one? Nakul. Another one? Sahadev. Another one? Bhimasena. These are 5 Pandavas. And how they are conceived. Their mother is called Kunti. Kunti was very young. He used to take sages across the river, and he met a sage called Parasaramuni. Parasaramuni saw the beauty of Kunti, say, I want you to have a child with me. And Kunti said, in Vedic culture, a woman who has given birth for another man, nobody will marry her. So I cannot do that. He said, no, I'll make you born a child for me, but you still become a virgin. Kunti said, well, because you are a sage, maybe you can. Then the sage Parasaramuni tried. He invoked the sun god. Immediately, Kunti became pregnant, and he gave birth to the child. But when he gave birth to the child, he put the child inside the river, threw her away. And that child is called Karna or Kunteya. See, another woman went to find her and take care of her. Then, when Pandu went to the forest to hunt, to kill animals, she met 2 animals. They are sages, but they don't want to contaminate their body. So they became animals. They having a fear to have children. So Pandu shoot at the male animal. And the male animal said, oh, you destroy my time of enjoyment with my wife. The day you do the same thing with your wife, you will die. And he was married to 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. So when he came home, he said, oh, you are my young wives. I cannot have an affair with you because I've got a curse that I should not meet with my wife. So what should I do? Kunti said, okay, I have a blessing before. A sage has blessed me that if I need children, I can just call any god. Then he invoked to Yamaraj. Who did he got? Yudhishthira. He born Yudhishthira. Then he tried again. He invoked to Indra. What did he got? Arjun. No, Indra, yeah. Indra. He got Arjun. Then he invoked the wind god, Vayu. Who did he get? Huh? No, Bhimasena. Then he said, I have my husband have 2 wives. If I have children and she don't have children, she may be envious. So let me also give her some power. So she told her to say the prayer, and she invoked the mantra, and she got 2 twins. Who are they? Who is their father? Who is their father? The Ashvini Kumaras. The Ashvini Kumaras blessed her. Madri, she got 2 twins. They are called Nakula and Sahadev. These are the 5 Pandavas. So when they were in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna said, now, these are the people you are going to fight. Bhishmadev, your grandfather, is in the other side. Dronacharya, your teacher, is in the other side. Karna, your superior, is on the other side. All these are they are called the Maharathis. They are powerful fighters. These are the people you are going to fight. And Arjuna said, Krishna, no, I will not fight. How can I fight my grandfather? How can I fight my superior? Because of kingdom? No, I will not fight. If I kill men, and their women become widows, it's sin. I better be a beggar. I better be a sadhu. And Krishna said, no, Arjuna, you are speaking like an intelligent man, but this is not your duty. You are a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya means you are a military man. you should fight. Fight for religious purpose. So fight. I'm using you as an instrument. These people you are seeing, they are already dead. I just want you to get the glory. Krishna always wants to make his devotees glorious. He said, I want you to use you as well. He said, just fight. Then, when Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, he said, when they were together to fight, what did they do? And Sanjaya said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pato Danudara, Tatra Sivajo Bhuti, Dhruva Neti Mati Mama. He said, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there is 4 things. There is opulence, there is victory, there is extraordinary morality, there is extraordinary power, thank you, and morality. These 4 things, anywhere there is Krishna. That's why you see in Krishna Balaram temple, these 4 things are going on. There is always victory. We always win. Any devotee of Krishna always win. You see people come here, you go to Prem Mandir, you go to other, they only go and give. They don't receive. I go to Sankirtan every day, Prem Mandir, you go to Banka Bihari, people just go there, they give their money, they give flowers, they don't have they don't tell them anything about Krishna. They don't even hear about Krishna. They just go there, selfie. But when they come to ISKCON temple, what do they get? First, they hear Kirtan. The first process of devotional service, Shravanam. They hear Krishna's songs, Krishna glorification. What did they do again? They see the deities. Very powerful. They use their eyes to see the deities. They are purified. Third, they get Charnamrita. Fourth, they get books. And fifth, they get Prasadam. This is what the living entity is looking for, to become spiritualized, to go back home. As we are reading from this text, Prabhupada said, unless we become purified, to go back home, back to Godhead. So, this text, the title of this text is Nature, Enjoyer, and Consciousness. We have 5 things that they are always everlasting. Everlasting, they will never die or they never stop to exist. One is Atma. Atma means the soul. Our soul doesn't die. Krishna told in the Bhagavad-Gita chapter 2 that the soul is undying. It is everlasting. You can't kill the soul. You can't wet the soul. The soul is primeval, and the soul is part of Krishna. It doesn't die. That's number 1. 2, Param Atma, the super soul, is everlasting. It doesn't die. Anywhere you go, even the plants, the animals, they all have this soul and super soul. 3, nature. Like now we are in the hot season. This is how Krishnas are in this world. More Vrindavan. June, July is hot. You will never change it. Since time memorial, even when Krishna was on earth, this thing goes on. I think India have 6 seasons. India have 6 seasons. Autumn, winter, summer, spring, rainy season, and fall. But in other countries, that when the country where I come from, we have only 2 seasons: rainy season and dry season. 6 months, no rain. 6 months, rain. But in India, because India is a holy land, India is the place Krishna chooses to come. So he make it change. 2 months, another season come. 2 months, another season come. 2 months, another season come. So India is not an ordinary place. It's a spiritual kingdom where Krishna took birth. Mostly Vrindavan. If you hear this morning class, the Prabhu was talking about the beauty of Vrindavan. Even Lord Brahma said, Krishna, the only blessing I want to become grass in the land of Vrindavan, so that the gopis will step on my head and I get their blessings. So this land of Vrindavan is not ordinary land. So anybody who stays in Vrindavan or anybody who is born in Vrindavan is very fortunate. But they say to stay in Vrindavan, to be born in Vrindavan is not more fortunate, but to die in Vrindavan. When you die in Vrindavan, you are going back home, back to God straight. So these are the 4 things that are everlasting. Now, the soul, super soul, nature, they get kala. Kala means time. Time is everlasting. Huh? Yeah. Kala. Oh, Kal. Kal. Yes, it's everlasting. Yeah. So it's everlasting. It never ends. Only in the spiritual world there is no time. Here, why we have time, because right now it's 5 o'clock to 6. Before you see 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, darkness. Yeah. So we have time in this material world, because in material world we are covered by darkness. That's why the text say here, in the spiritual world they don't need light, they don't need electricity, they don't need fan, they don't need torchlight, they don't need phone. Everything is just going on simultaneously. Everything is coming from Krishna. The light in the spiritual world is coming from Krishna's body. They don't need light. But here we need electricity, we need the sunlight, we need torchlight to see. That is the difference between the material world and the spiritual world. Why the material world we are? Because this material world is made of components of 8 elements. 8. And these elements, they are very thick. One element is earth. This earth. Very thick. 10 times thicker than the second one. Earth. Water. This body, that's why we drink water. We need water. It's a component of water. Earth, water. Fire is in the body. It's everywhere, outside there, everywhere. The trees, everything have these components. And 10 times thicker. Earth, water, fire, ether, air. We breathe. It's inside. It's inside, it's outside. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether, like we have the sky. Then ether, then we have the mind. The mind is inside, we don't see it. Then we have the intelligence. Then we have the false ego. After these 8 elements, the inside is the soul. So you see, that's why we are in darkness, because the soul is like wrapped inside all this covering. So it's difficult for us to even have knowledge of Krishna. That's why we have to read the scriptures. We have to be told by the guru. We have to be told by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. They have to remind us that this world is not your home. This body you are having is temporal. It's not everlasting. It will soon die. Try to drop it. Perform devotional service. Hear about Krishna every day. Then you become free from birth and death. As Prabhupada says here. This is the only process to free us from birth and death. We have been taking birth in this world for many, many years. 8,400,000 cycles of life will pass through before you become a human being. 8,400,000 species of life you pass through. As first you start from aquatics, the fish, the reptiles, they become ants, they become snakes, reptiles, they become mammals like the monkeys, the dogs, the cows. Then you become a human being. Now when you become a human being, what's your duty? Your duty is Shravanam, Ketanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Atmanam. To hear about Krishna, to chant about Krishna, to remember Krishna, to worship Krishna, to serve Krishna, to become a servant of Krishna, to become his friend, and to surrender to Krishna. There are many stories in the Bhagavatam. There was a small boy called Dhruva Maharaj. All of you know the story? You know the story? Dhruva Maharaj, his father is called Uttanapad. Uttanapad was married to 2 wives. The first wife is called Suniti, and the second wife is called Suriti. So these 2 wives got 2 children. The first wife, Suniti, his son is called Dhruva Maharaj. And Suriti, his wife is called Uttama. So when they were playing around, their father was sitting like this. And the second wife's son, Uttama, came and sat down on the lap of the king. The wife was nearby. He was happy because his son was sitting down on the lap of his father. He knew that when a king dies, the child who always sits on the lap is going to be the next king. So the mother was happy because of that. But he's not the first wife. The first wife's son is supposed to be the king. And the first wife, Suniti, his son is Dhruva. So now Dhruva also saw his brother sitting on the lap of his father. So he also come, he want to sit down on the lap of his father. So as he want to climb to the lap of his father, the wife turned and said, "No, get down. Get down from your father's lap. Your brother is entitled because he's from me. I born him. He's my son. He's supposed to be the king when your father died." And Dhruva Maharaj felt pain. He felt so sorry that his stepmother insulted him. So he ran to his mother. He said, "Oh, mother, see what my stepmother has done to me. He has abused me of my rights. I am the first son. I'm supposed to be the king after my father. But now my mother said I should leave. I should not sit down on my mother's throne unless I'm born from her womb. Otherwise, I will not be the king." Then he said another second thing. He said, "Unless you worship Narayan, Krishna, you will never become higher to the throne to your father." So the mother said, "Oh, it's unfortunate, your father, I am the first wife, but your father don't love me. He loved his second wife." So he said, "This is my misfortune." He said, "So obey your mother, your stepmother. Obey what he says." He said, "If he says you should go to worship Narayan, okay, go worship Narayan." Say, never think bad of anybody who insults you. Anybody who do bad to you, never think bad of him. It's a lesson. Anybody bad to you, don't return bad. No. If anybody do bad to you, try to return goodness to him. The person who regrets, say, this person, I did bad to him, but see what he has done to me. He will change. So Dhruva Maharaj, her mother advised her. He said, Don Dhruva said, "How can I get a kingdom even better than my father's kingdom?" Then the mother said, "In those days, Lord Brahma, great sages, they go to the forest and worship Lord Narayan, and they become powerful." Not knowing he's talking to a small boy of 5 years old. But this small boy is not only 5 years old. He has determination to do anything. So after the mother spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, the mother forgot. Dhruva Maharaj, mid of the night, small boy 5 years old, he left house. He went to the forest. He was going. The first thing he meets in the forest is a big snake. The snake tried to put fear on him. Dhruva Maharaj said, "No, I'm never afraid of anything. I am Krishna's son. Nothing will disturb me." He passed the snake. He went to the dark of the forest. Narada Muni, being a A sage, he understands that a small boy is very determined to see Narayan. Let me go and meet him and give him guidance. So Narada Muni went and met Dhruva Maharaj. He said, hey Dhruva Maharaj, where are you going at midnight like this? A small boy. You are a prince. You are from a royal family. You are coming to the forest at night? See your legs, you don't even wear shoe. The forest is very dangerous night. There are tigers, lions. There are snakes. They will devour you. Go home. You are very small. He said, what you are about to do, even great sages like Brahma cannot do this. To come in the forest at night? Go home. Wait when you are old. Wait when you are old, you can come and meditate in the forest. Dhruva Maharaj said, yes, Gurudev, I respect your knowledge. I respect your advice. But this advice you are giving me is not for Kshatriyas. This advice is for Brahmanas. He said, my blood is from Kshatriya family. I cannot bear insults. My stepmother has insulted me so painfully that I cannot withstand it. I have to revenge. So tell me, what should I do to get a kingdom that's even better than my father's kingdom? Then now Narada Muni realized that this boy has passed a test. He's determined. He said, okay, I'll give you 2 reasons. Say now, go to a forest. This forest, Krishna is more conducive for you to know Krishna. So when you go there, do 2 things. You say, I'll give you a mantra. Chant this mantra every day. The mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You say every day, chant this mantra. Then you said, meditate on somebody. This person is blackish in color. This person is having a smiling face. This person has a jewel called Kaustubha in his chest. This person is wearing a flower garland that's very fresh. This person is standing in 3-fold forms. This person is having a peacock feather on his feather. They say meditate, just meditate on that person and be chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Say do it every day. And Dhruva Maharaj said, okay. Then Dhruva Maharaj went to the Mandala mountain. When he went there first, he fasted for the whole day. He bathed himself nicely, and he fasted. And for 6 months, what was Dhruva doing? The first month, Dhruva was eating only fruits. For 3 days, he will eat fruits. 3 days, he will not eat. The another 3 days, he will eat. Then he advanced. 6 days, he will eat dry grass. Only after 6 days, he eat dry grass. And he went further. For 9 days, he will only drink water. That is the 3rd month. For 9 days, he will eat water, drink water after 9 days. Then, the 4th month, for 12 days, he will breathe. And he breathed out. Then, the 5th month, Dhruva Maharaj stand on 1 toe. 1 toe. He stand on 1 toe. He raises his hand up and he's chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And in his heart, he's thinking of Krishna and he's offering fruits to Krishna. He's doing abhishek to Krishna. He's playing bhajans for Krishna. He was closing his eyes. Immediately he opened his eyes. He saw Krishna standing in front of him. The form of Krishna he was meditating on in his heart. When he opened his eyes, he saw that form standing in front of him. He didn't go to school. The scripture said Dhruva Maharaj didn't go to school. He don't know how to say prayers when he saw Krishna. He fall down, dandavat. Say, oh Krishna, I'm so happy by seeing you. All my desires that I was having to have a kingdom like my father owned, or even greater than Lord Brahma kingdom, that desire has gone just by seeing you. And please, let me be your devotee. He prayed to Krishna. But Krishna said no. He said, because of your determination, because of your sacrifice you have done to leave your father's kingdom, your father's palace, to come here, you follow the order of your guru, you perform this tapasya, I will not leave you alone. I will give you something. Dhruva Maharaj said, Krishna, don't give me anything. Because if you give me anything, I will be so attached to this thing, I'll forget about your devotional service. Krishna said, I will reward you. He said, I will give you a kingdom called the pole star. And you rule there for 36,000 years. You'll be, and when you are ruling that kingdom, you have the same strength. Your strength doesn't go down. You have the same power. You have everything. For 36,000 years, you rule that kingdom. And Dhruva Maharaj, he didn't die. He didn't go there with this, after, like before you go to the spiritual world, you have to die. Dhruva Maharaj didn't die. He came, an aeroplane came for him, and he boarded the plane. As soon as he wanted to board the plane, death personified came, and Dhruva Maharaj stepped his head on death, and he entered the plane. But when he was going, he said, oh, he asked the pilots, say, pilots, wait. I got this boon because of my mother. My mother is my first guru. He advised me that if you want a kingdom better than your father's kingdom, you must go to the forest and worship Narayan. So now I'm about to go to the spiritual world. Where is my mother? I'm leaving my mother away. Then the pilot has said, oh, don't worry, just look at the front. And when he looked at the front, his mother was already going. So he followed his mother. They went together. So the purpose of all these texts is that we should worship Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Sarva Dharma Parichaya, Mam Ekam Sarnabraja, Aham Tuam Sataribhyo, Mukshaishami, Masuchaha. We should abandon any type of religion and just surrender unto Krishna. He shall deliver us from all sinful reaction. We should not be afraid. Normally we are afraid to serve Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. Like the Prabhu gave class this morning. Who was there in the class this morning? Yeah, wonderful class. Yeah, who know where the Prabhu come from? Do you know where he come from? Yes, he come from where? Where is he come from? Which temple? Who? Yeah, which temple he come from? Oh, the guy is talented. His class was Paka. I learned a lot from his class this morning. How we should not be proud. If you have knowledge, don't be proud. If you have strength, don't be proud of it. Krishna will give you that strength to use it to serve it. He was telling us about the story of Hanuman, when Hanuman burns Lanka. You see, you can use anger for Krishna. You can use your beauty for Krishna. There's a story in the Bhagavad-Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna was going to Mathura to kill Ravana. There was a woman called Kubja. She's very ugly. She has hunchback. She doesn't stand straight. But she have this thing they put in the morning. How do you call it? Sandalwood. He used to make it for Ravana, for Kamsa. Every day he go to Kamsa. But Kamsa never tell him that you are a beautiful woman, you are a good woman. Because he's ugly and hunchback, she feels depressed that why Krishna made me? I'm so ugly. I don't walk nicely. Oh, it's a misfortune for me. But one day when he met Krishna, Krishna told him, oh woman, please give me this your sandalwood. Use it for me. Kubja said, I've never seen a beautiful man like you. He said, because of your handsomeness, your beauty, I will give this sandalwood to you. He said, Kamsa, go out, forget about Kamsa. So they put on the sandalwood on Krishna's hand and Balaram. And Krishna said, "Oh, beautiful woman." She was surprised. Nobody have ever said that in this world that you are a beautiful woman. Only that day, Krishna told that you are a beautiful woman. She was surprised. And Krishna said, "Wait, woman, stand. Let me tell you something." And the woman stood, and Krishna just put his leg, he stepped on her leg, and he hold her like this, and he lifted her, and her back became straight, and she become very beautiful, with slim waist, big buttocks, nice breast, nice body, nice face, and now she became the most beautiful woman in Mathura. But he said, "Oh Krishna, because you have made me beautiful, I want you to enjoy with me." So he invited Krishna in his house, in her house. But when Krishna went there, Krishna made her a devotee. So this is lessons we learn from everyday classes. That's why we should always try to go to class. You learn one thing from any speaker. Any speaker has something he has realized from the scriptures. So you learn one thing from them. Like Sarvasya Prabhu always say, every day in the material world, people tune to BBC or Radio India to know what is going on in India. How many elections are going on? Modi is going to win again next year. People want to hear this news. How many virus people have been cured? How many injections? How many vaccines? Every morning, people like to put on TV or radio to hear this. But Sarvasya Prabhu said, we should always tune on BBC, ISKCON BBC. What is ISKCON BBC? ISKCON BBC is Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya. We should hear this one every day. When we hear these ones every day, we see the world is nonsense. Complete nonsense. 1 month ago, people are afraid to come to ISKCON temple. Even when I pass here, they run away. Because the temple was quiet. You go everywhere, you only see monkeys and dogs. People are afraid of coronavirus. Just few months ago, before next year or 2 years to come, people don't hear more about coronavirus. Why? Because Krishna says this world is dukkhalayam. Dukkhalayam asaswatam. It's a temporal place, and it's a place of miseries. Sickness. Coronavirus is one of the miseries. Nobody wants it. This when I was coming, before I entered the gates, I have to put on mask. Now, because of mask, you don't even know people. Everybody making this mask, you don't even know his face. Not only India, the whole world. This is the only epidemic that I've heard since I was born. That is all over the world. You go to Africa, Asia, America, Asia, Australia, the whole world. Before sicknesses come, maybe they only affect one continent, but this virus affect the whole continent. Why? Because Kali Yuga has affected the whole world. So Krishna is teaching us a lesson that we should always be Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare. Any question or comment? Hare Krishna. Light, louder. Yes. How? Hanuman? Who? Karna. Oh, Karna. That is Karna. Yeah, Kunti said, when Parasharamuni said, I will give you a child, but you will still maintain your virginity. Then Kunti said, okay, try. Then she called, Om Surya Namaha. Immediately, Kunti became pregnant. Not through sex, no. In Kali Yuga, in those days, people have spiritual powers. They can give birth. Lord Brahma gave birth to 10 children, not through sex. Narada Muni is one. Marichi, Dakshan, all these are children. Dakshan, Shiva. Lord Shiva was born through Lord Brahma's forehead. Some children of Brahma come from the ear, some from the nostrils, some from the palm. Narada Muni come from the intelligence of Lord Brahma. But after Lord Brahma created some children, the children became demoniac. They wanted to eat Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma said, no, now I'll make a progeny. He created Swabhuva Manu. And Swabhuva Manu have 5 children. 3 are female and 2 are male. Who are those children? Devahunti, Akuti, Praksuti, Uttanapad, and Priyavrata. So he gave them the power to populate the world through sexual intercourse. The first Devahunti got married to Daksha. And Daksha wanted to perform Jagya. He invites all the demigods, all the great sages. He invited Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. All of them, they were sitting down. So when Daksha last came in, because he is the performer of the Jagya, everybody get up. Everybody stand up to glorify him. But Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Vishnu, they didn't get up because they are superior to him. Shiva is a brother to Daksha, and also Shiva is married to Daksha's daughter, who is called Sati. So, and Shiva is one of the 3 dominating deities: Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. So Shiva is superior to Daksha, so he didn't get up. Then Daksha said, see, I invited all these guests in this Jagya, and everybody get up. See Shiva. Shiva is married to my daughter. He didn't get up for me. See? It's a disgrace. He only have the name Shiva, but he doesn't represent Shiva. See his monkey face. He was insulting Lord Shiva. He abused Lord Shiva. But Shiva didn't do anything to him. And Lord Shiva's followers became annoyed. They start abusing the Brahmanas. And the Brahmanas also start abusing the follower of Lord Shiva. They curse each other. That's why today Brahmanas will look poor. Because we look like we are poor. Because the followers of Daksha curse the Brahmanas. So you'll be wretched, you'll be poor. And we also, the followers of the Brahmanas of Lord Shiva, curse Lord Shiva follower that they should smoke ganja. They become impersonalists. So we should give respect to higher authorities. Then our life will be happy. Hare Krishna. Any other question? Yes, Mataji.
You mentioned 9 devotional services.
Yes.
Which one do we need to practice all of them, or can we master one, or how does it work?
Yeah, thank you. Nice questions. In bygone ages, like in Satya Yuga, they have any process, they do meditation. In Treta Yuga, they do fire sacrifice. In Dwapara Yuga, they do temple worship. Like you go South India, you see big temples. In Kali Yuga, we do Hare Nam. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. But Prabhupada said, in this age of Kali Yuga, we can't perform one of these processes perfectly. You can't sit down whole day and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Your children are there, your wife is there, you have to eat. You have to bath, you have to wash your clothes, you have to do other things. So you cannot do it for too long, you get tired. So Prabhupada said in Kali Yuga, we do them step by step. That's why early in the morning, wake up from Mangarati. That's the ideal time to chant. Then after Mangarati, we do Guru Puja, worship the Guru. Then we listen to Bhagavatam class. Then we distribute books in the afternoon. Then we put the deities to rest. Then we come in the evening, listen to Bhagavad-Gita. Then we go and do Arati. Then we do put deities to rest. All these are half of the 9 processes of bhakti. Hearing, chanting, worshipping, praying, serving, becoming friend to the Lord, surrender everything to Krishna. We do them half, complete whole. You're like if you have 50 rupees, 10 rupees there, 20 rupees there, 30 rupees there, 40 rupees there. So in Kali Yuga, we cannot be perfect to do one. No. You cannot sit there all day. Even the 24-hour Ketan boys, they change. After 3 hours, other ones come. Otherwise, if they sit down there all day, they chant, they will say, Hare Krishna. They fall. So Prabhupada is so perfect that so he make it small. We should do small, yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
What are the meanings of consciousness?
The meanings of consciousness. Consciousness means aware. Yeah? Awareness. That like now I'm conscious of this. This has a owner. So I must not take it, I put it in my pocket and go home with it. I must be conscious. Yeah, we must be conscious that our duty, just like everything in this world, have a duty. Like, what is the duty of water? Is to water, the quality of water is to give taste. You drink water that is tasty, you become happy. What the consciousness of fire is to burn. When you touch fire, it will not say you are a big man or you're an old man or a small boy or a girl, a woman. The fire will burn you. So the consciousness of human beings is to serve. Every day we serve. If you don't serve your body, you can serve your wife or your children, you serve somebody. But the ultimate service should be for Krishna. That is the perfection of service. When we serve Krishna, then our consciousness become perfect. If we don't serve Krishna, we serve other things, we will not be happy. So that's consciousness. To be conscious of Krishna every day, always. I hope I'll give you some. Hare Krishna.